and be good to Dad and take him out to the ball game. We've got one for you and for him here today as the Pirates play host to the Chicago Cubs. And happy Father's Day to you and yours. Joe Block and Bob Walk with you here today as the Pirates have a chance to win this series here this afternoon. And the Pirates have been doing it lately a lot with their bats, and there are three guys really standing out right now in the Pirates lineup.
Well, Joe, it's been great to talk about our offense of late. They really started to click. One of the reasons, and it seems to be always the reason when we start clicking on offense, Andrew McCutchen. Look there at his numbers, the OPS up above 1,200 now. We go, our offense goes the way Kutch goes. Also, Josh Bell, he's been a little streaky, but he's in a good streak right now. And, you know, rookies are like that. They get a little streaky. But the key, I think, is the fact that Polanco's starting to hit now. You add him to that mix, and you really got something going. He's been working on some mechanics, getting that long ball over the fence, hit a big home run last night. It'll really be something to get all three of those guys going at once.
And you also need the pitching to go with that as well. And Jamison Tyone in his inspirational return to the mound, 5 shutout innings his last time around.
Oh, he's always been inspiring. He's got such great leadership skills. They're really off the chart when it comes to that kind of stuff. But you said it, the stuff he does in between the lines, the pitching stuff is also amazing. And what we really need him to do today, the bullpen needs a little bit of a breather out there, needing to be efficient, go deep into this ball game. That's what I'm looking for.
And the Pirates have a chance to make this a winning homestand as well. And here on this Father's Day, pull up a chair, watch the ball with Dad. We got baseball for you, the Pirates and the Cubs coming up next right here on Root Sports.
Out there, and most importantly to my father, Vincent Harrison. Love you.
To my dad, Rick, I just want to wish you a happy Father's Day. Thank you for all that you've done. Thank you for your love and support. And, you know, thank you for helping me grow up to the man I am today. And constantly, when I call, you answer and you give me some support on the phone nonstop. Happy Father's Day.
I want to wish both my fathers happy Father's Day. Dad, you know, you took me out to practice when I was young and instilled in me hard work and just good values that I still carry to this day. My father-in-law, been a tremendous person in my life. You know, thank you for letting me marry your daughter, first of all, and just want to wish you both happy Father's Day. God bless.
And very nice sentiments there, and always great to see Jameson Taillon taking the mound for the second time since returning from surgery to remove testicular cancer, and things are still good for him, thank goodness. And for the kids today, of course, every Sunday they get to come out and be a part of the action before we get things started. And a great day to bring Dad out to the ballpark.
Yeah, it's just kind of a great tradition, I'm sure, for some families. Father's Day, if it's a beautiful Sunday, you head to the ballpark, you watch a ball game.
And you got to have the scorecard out there, too. Let's take a look at the visiting Cubs lineup for today. Anthony Rizzo back in that leadoff spot. He's got an 11-game hitting streak. Mount Lebo's Ian Happ to follow. Wilson Contreras batting third. Then Hayward, Almora, LaStella, Baez, Lackey, the pitcher, batting eighth, and then John Jay batting ninth. Many of the regulars getting a day off today for the Cubs.
A quick look at Taillon's numbers on the season. Just 7 games, of course, because he was on the DL for quite a while, but all of his numbers are very good. And nice to have him back on the mound, especially afternoon like this one. Big game.
And Anthony Rizzo going to go for a double here to extend that hitting streak immediately to 12 games.
They've found a pretty good leadoff hitter, haven't they?
Well, they tried to move him over there last series. And he's been hot, especially on that first time up.
Hey, you see the pitch, it had a little movement going down and away. See the ball just start to move, and that's the ball that you want the hitter to be aggressive and try to pull. That's going to be a ground ball. It's going to be to second base all day long if he tries to pull it. But Rizzo is a good hitter, so he hits it where it's pitched, and a leadoff double.
And Ian Happ trying to move him over. They're playing for one here in the first inning. A 1-3 sacrifice. And here is the Honda defense for today. Andrew McCutchen mans center field. Frazier and Polanco flank him to the outfield with Freese, Mercer, Harrison, and Bell around the horn. And Elias Diaz doing the catching today. Andrew McCutchen, nice running play yesterday coming in. And Diaz, the young catcher, in there here this afternoon to catch Taillon. So a runner at third with one out, infield in. And that one going out toward the wall. Contreras drives in the run. He's heading for two, and he's in with an RBI double, and the Cubs open with a 1-0 lead. Bing, bang, boom.
Well, not the way we wanted this one to start, but one of our big guns out on the mound. Already a run down and another runner in scoring position, but got to hand it to the Cubs. They're doing a pretty good job with the bats. This is a 97-mile-an-hour fastball out of the strike zone down, and it gets driven to the base of the center field wall by Contreras.
Look at our Allegheny Health Network Supermo. So 2 extra base hits. Jason Hayward. Yeah, both pitches that were hit for doubles. These are not mistake pitches.
No, they're down out of the strike zone. Just good job. Now, the pitch that Hayward just fouled off was right down the middle. So it's just that's how baseball is. People don't realize it. It's not one of those. It's not a video game where every time you throw a pitch in the heart of the strike zone, it's going to get hit hard, and you absolutely have to stay out on the edges, especially when you're somebody like Taillon. We talked a lot about this during that little mini slump that Cole was in, that he seemed to be getting hit hard, wasn't getting away with mistake pitches like somebody that has his stuff should. And the other side of that coin is sometimes the hitters will beat you on good pitches, and that's happened to Taillon here twice in the first inning. There's Cole.
Now 2-1. Contreras back in there today. Ivan Nova with that sterling outing yesterday, and then emphatic close to that 7-inning win. That 6th and final strikeout through a pitch at 97. 3-1 on the cleanup man today, Jason Hayward. Trying to go for a series win against these Cubs. Pirates have the season series right now, 5-3. They'll move the runner, but now with 2 outs. So 2 down. Contreras at third. And let's look at our Rivers Casino tips to win.
We touched on this a little bit in the open. You like to see Tyone go 6 today. 7 would be fantastic, like Nova did yesterday. The efficiency, the pitch count is going to be important. We're going to talk about that a lot, I think, this afternoon. And we don't know what's going to happen to the bottom end of the, or the top end of the bullpen. Rivero is not going to pitch today. Somebody's going to have to step it up and grab that save. Or how about this? The offense does such a great job this afternoon that we win one easy. That would be a fantastic way to take the pressure off the bullpen.
Yeah, you need some
kind of a tip and a half there, huh?
Right. Well, yeah, there you go. We need a little separation, right? And get those bats.
That would be nice.
Build a lead. Pirates have played a lot of one-run games. More than a third of their games have been decided by a single run. And Almora hobbled. Get it off that ankle, I think. Oh,
inside the knee.
Yeah, even worse. It's got the guard there for the ankle, but even when they get back in, it doesn't mean it stopped hurting.
No, but you have to continue, so you just figure out a way to ignore it. And then if you're pitching, you just throw something hard down and in, see if he'll do it again.
And even in this eventful first inning, just 11 pitches for Tyone.
Absolutely, I was going to say that. Even though it gave up a run, still the efficiency was there. Great.
Now the Pirates get their chance here in the first.
On Root Sports is brought to you by Allegheny Health Network, the largest health system rated #1 in the region for all the things that matter most. And by Kenny Ross Subaru, total confidence pricing. Let's go Bucks!
Adam Frazier and the Pirates coming up to bat here in the bottom of the first. Cubs get a run in the top half. And the for lineup for Clearwater's Buccos today. Yeah, Frazier will start things with then Josh Harrison and Gregory Polanco in the top three. You see the dad's names beside the players' names as well. Freeze, Bell, and then Andrew McCutchen in that now familiar sixth spot. Diaz, Mercer with a 7-game hitting streak, best average in baseball over the last 4 weeks. Jameson Tyone and his dad Michael batting ninth.
Lackey's numbers aren't going to look real good for him. Giving up a ton of runs. You see the ERA way up there, and the home runs 19. OMG. So hopefully we can add to that today.
Yeah, second most in the National League. You were texting between innings, I can tell. Adam Frazier.
I was posting a snap.
Well, let's hope the story for the Pirates today is a good one.
He was here in the last series.
We're still doing Trevor's story puns. All right. There's a strike. The Pirates took care of the Rockies. 2-1 in that series. Have won 5 of the 9 games on this homestand, which concludes this afternoon. Luke Fowl.
Who are the umpires today?
Well, you got Tim Timmons there behind the plate looking snazzy.
Very nice. That blue mask.
Jeff Kellogg's the crew chief at first. Will Little at second. Clint Fagan, who has had a couple of his calls overturned here in this series, the minor league call-up umpire. And Lackey strikes out Frazier to start things in the Pirates' hat for the first. And the defense behind John Lackey here this afternoon. Mount Lebanon's Ian Happ there at second base. Baez, the double play partner. Listella and Rizzo on the corners. Jay Almora and Hayward in the outfield from left to right. Wilson Contreras, the good young catcher for Chicago. Josh Harrison hitting over 300. Improved power. Thumb is healthy this season. 8 home runs. That equals his total from the past 2 seasons combined. We talk about home runs, as you pointed out, Bob, with Lackey. You know, he's 38 years old, coming off of really just about a career year last year. That cracked his bat. Just a lot more hittable this year. He was really above and beyond, way better than he had been the previous years. Last year with the Cubs, a lot of things went right for the Cubs, which are a very talented team. But I think any champion, I think a lot of things have to go right.
You look at any World Series winner and you can see some guys that had at least one of their better years. That will be a theme on that team. Lackey very strong last year for the Cubs, and just scuffling a little bit this year. They're scuffling a lot this year. The home runs, as we just mentioned, are really a problem for him, and hopefully today that'll continue.
That is soaring out toward the Allegheny, but
a little bit too much toward the Ohio.
Yeah. Well, that person caught it out there. I wonder if it hopped first, but boy, oh boy, that thing. Almost hit the bird.
High. Got an escort on the way out of here. One big bounce. Nice play.
Look what I found.
When you're walking along out there behind the bleachers, you're probably not expecting a ball suddenly to fall out of the sky on you.
Not during game action.
So that was a good reaction right there. Very good reaction time.
Very cool. Now, Polanco has had some good lifetime numbers against Lackey. And as his bat has been heating up lately, perhaps that could equal a good afternoon. Jeff Branson and Jeff Livesey, the hitting coaches of the Pirates, have worked tirelessly lately. Well, I shouldn't say lately, but lately with Polanco. Always overall. One of the points of emphasis have been for Polanco to get that front foot down and be able to make more solid contact. He's been able to make some contact, but not really to the exit velocity is what they pointed to that he's used to. But in recent games, we're seeing more and more of that. He's got a full count on him.
Yeah, the pitchers, they actually love the contact as long as it's the soft contact. That's what they're trying to do.
Or no contact.
That one was way out in front.
Good first inning for Lackey. And Jameson Taillon back out 1-0 Chicago. Father's Day. Thanks for tuning us in. And Elias Diaz is doing the catching today, but Chris Stewart is back as we look at our Allegheny Health Network injury update. He was activated from the disabled list today. Had that left hamstring injury that has kept him out for the last few weeks. And Jacob Stallings optioned to AAA Indianapolis to accommodate Stewart, who was injured back on May 29th, trying to extend a double into a triple. And back and active. So Taillon back out to work after a pair of doubles, plated a run for the Cubs. And quickly ahead of Tommy La Stella.
Tim Timmons got that good call, didn't he, for the strike? Nice and loud. For the pitcher, boy, it's music to your ears.
You know when you've done good, right?
Yep.
Now the 1-2.
Got ahead. Couple shots at a strikeout. Stella able to say no to those. Should go back toward the strike zone with this one.
Stella called up at the outset of this series when Ben Zobrist was placed on the DL, so getting a start on a Sunday. Cubs have Bryant and Russell, Schwarber all on the bench today, along with Miguel Montero, which if this is a close game late, may play into things. Glenn Hurdle has said that Felipe Rivero is down today. He will not pitch this afternoon. And with Juan Nicasio battling some fatigue from his last outing, may or may not be active today. Right to Bell. And one away.
That's a good out, but on a day you want to try and be efficient. You don't want to have to take 7 pitches to get a guy out that you got 0-2 on. You want to try and avoid those scenarios where you're 0-2 and then a full count.
What about today too? It's 87 degrees here today. Is that, I mean, if you have those long innings, can that sap something out of you?
As long as you have the ammonia water inside the, you're all right. But seriously, it is a little warm today, and yeah, that's just another reason you want to stay out of the deep pitch counts. Have the efficient innings. But Taillon is in amazing shape, so it's not going to. He would not be affected, I wouldn't think, by the elements.
I grew up in Texas, 25 years old.
Certainly is showing some good velocity already this afternoon. And hitting 97 a number of times already in his first 20 pitches.
Shakes off the side. The old number one more time. Yeah, it is a tropical kind of feeling out here this afternoon.
See, here's another 0-2, and now he's gone 2-2. They definitely took a shot at the strikeout with the high fastball, but then they also tried to strike him out again on the curveball.
And the connection by Baez, the third Cubs hit today.
But what I'm saying is, you know, maybe you take the one shot out of the strike zone and then try on with the 1-2 pitch, try to get some soft contact. And that was just simply a mistake pitch there. He hung that breaking ball.
See how it hangs up there on our Allegheny Health Network Supermo. Now the Cubs use the pitcher in the 8th spot. So Baez batting ahead of the pitcher. And the Pirates have an edict that they like to really drill in their pitchers, is getting that out on 3 pitches or fewer. And it's easier said than done, of course, but Taillon has been good at that. Many of the Pirates pitchers have been good at that. Baez will try to advance. He's out.
Well, I thought he had a good jump. I really assumed he was going to make it, and just can't outrun that great arm. And the Cubs are talking to their clubhouse. They want to know if they should challenge this call.
And Mercer goes straight down with the tag. Tries to get to Baez as quickly as possible with the ball in the glove. Cubs will not challenge. It goes as a 2-6 putout. No caught stealing. Diaz has a cannon.
And that just kind of popped out of his glove and set up an opportunity for Estella. I thought he was going to make it, but nope. Or Baez, excuse me.
Lackey's gone, and so are the Cubs. Diaz throwing out Baez. Let's take a look at our T-Mobile Unlimited baseball break. And the Orioles 15 runs against the Cardinals, 9 of which against Adam Wainwright. Cardinals have now lost 4 of 5. Albert Pujols, the former Cardinal, 2-run home run last night, passed Mel Ott for 10th on the all-time RBI list. And Orlando Arcia, an inside the park home run for the Brewers. And so many of those runs in that series, almost all of them have come via the home run. Brewers are next on the Pirates slate as they'll travel to Milwaukee, begin a 4-game set tomorrow night. 1-0 Chicago, and an out recorded thanks to the catcher. Diaz throwing out Baez.
Threw that laser beam down there, and you know that not only do you keep a guy out of scoring position, but you get to throw an out up on the board also. I mean, that's huge.
And Baez is pretty quick. I mean, you put him at second base with 1 out.
Good quick tag, got him. Nice throw.
And Lackey in that first inning able to go through the side 1, 2, 3. So Freeze will start things. Like most of the Pirates hitters, he's hit well in June. Heading over 300 this month. And has been on base now 15 straight games.
Love to see the offense get something going early here.
Look at our Barrel Automotive league leaders and the Pirates overall in the month of June. Second best batting average in the National League, .291. That's for the whole team. And you know, looking at the games that the Pirates have played this month, and you know, the Pirates are 6-6, and you go, well, it hasn't really equated all that much winning, but 3 of those games the Pirates had the lead in the 9th inning, and so that has been the quandary for a bullpen that's been very, very good otherwise. Last couple of weeks has faltered. And Clint Hurdle had talked about it a little bit too. You know, the starting pitching has not always gone very deep in games, and so maybe that has something to do with it. Now that we're moving toward the midpoint of the season, the arms start to get affected a little bit. And that points to exactly what you were talking about with Tyone today, trying to be more efficient and trying to give you some more innings.
That's what you need. You need to start seeing, like Nova, some more of those 7-inning starts.
Still 3-2 on Freeze. Josh Bell on deck with a dozen home runs now. He's hitting 300 in June as well. That's a hot shot up the middle. David Freeze working the count, getting aboard to start things in the second.
Worked that fastball away and didn't try to pull it. Right back through the middle. Beautiful job right there by Freeze, and got the ball rolling here in the second.
And Jason Hayward getting looked out.
Well, he went sliding into the dirt over here earlier on that foul ball, and I don't know if he just scraped it when he went along the dirt or what there.
And there's his throwing wrist that's being taped up right now. There might have been an abrasion there, looked like. Watch the left hand.
See, he puts his hand down, just kind of runs it along the ground there, and apparently did something.
Well, usually it's pretty smooth, but sometimes might be a little bit of coarseness to it.
There's something hanging off his hand as he gets up. Is that like a piece of skin, piece of his hand? And
Yeah,
maybe they cut it off.
Yeah, it looked like he
I think there was something hanging down from his hand.
I think there was a pretty good abrasion there. So
well, yeah,
it's taped up.
Skin hanging down. That's pretty good abrasion.
Yeah. Well, they put some blue tape on there, and
it's Father's Day.
I'll be able to continue.
Got to use blue tape on Father's Day.
That's why the uniforms are as such. And wore them yesterday as well as today. Baseball donating all royalty payments for the sale of the caps and the jerseys to the Prostate Cancer Foundation and Stand Up to Cancer. Slowly hit and juggled by Baez. Everyone is safe.
Slowly hit with a little odd spin on it, apparently. Didn't get much. It didn't get a true hop. He was expecting it. So there's a break. Take advantage of this.
Instead of 2 out and nobody on, there's 2 on and nobody out.
I'll tell you what, it did. The first bounce kicked it back towards second base, but I think the second bounce was pretty true. That second bounce, I don't see a whole lot. I think he just kind of clanked it.
It is an error on Baez, and McCutchen not underneath it. Hayward with a good arm out there, and right on target. So that hand is okay. And McCutchen retired on a fly out to right. Oh, there's the Pirate Parrot's dad out here today, still looking good. And the Parrot now 38 years old. Dad's still looking good. Still needs the reading glasses and the cane, but that's all right. So 38 in Parrot years. I don't know what that is. We'll learn that one. You see all the dads out here today. Now, does the dad take the kid, or does the kid take the dad? Elias Diaz nipping the outer edge.
Just barely. That's one of those calls that, when it goes the way of the pitcher, really can change the at bat around. 1 run, a 1-1 count to an 0-2 count. Lackey unfortunate to have that error made behind him, but got a nice call on a pitcher's pitch there.
Diaz so far has been very good in these situations with runners in scoring position. 7 for 15. That's almost 500. So with Freese aboard at second.
RBIs he has for the amount of at bats.
Yeah,
it's impressive.
10 and 44.
Lackey hoping for a chase right there with the young hitter up there. Didn't get it. Probably put it outside a little further than he really wanted to. You can see him shaking his head. Didn't quite make the pitch he wanted.
Cubs pitching coach Chris Bosio. Underneath that one too. Infield fly rule. And we're talking about Father's Day and some of the great father-son duos in Major League Baseball history. Of course, Barry Bonds and Dad Bobby combining for almost 1,100 home runs. And Denora born Ken Griffey Sr. and Jr. And Denora born and raised, really. Griffey born in Denora, grew up in Cincinnati. Griffey Jr. Cecil and Prince Fielder, big home run duo. And then the Connie Mack, who caught for the Pirates and managed them in the 1890s. And the Boone family, now with a 4th generation, Jake Boone, drafted by the Nationals this year in the 38th round. So thinking of Gus Bell, too, a former Pirate. 3 generations of Bells in the major leagues.
I think we missed an opportunity there when Diaz was hitting. That was a 2-strike hanging breaking ball right down the middle. That's what you want to happen when you're behind in a count, and the youngster just did not do much with it. But you're looking for that mistake pitch once you get behind like that. You're in a 2-strike count. You want something slow over the middle. You know, a pretty important part of the game. You can got 1 out and a couple of runners on, and for him to pop that up
toward the wall. Hayward with enough room. Mercer retired, and the Cubs wriggle out of it. 2 on, nobody out, and it's still 1-0. Nothing lead as we begin the 3rd. And you can spend your summer here at the ballpark with the Pirates Summer 6-pack presented by Papa John's. Select any 6 games you want and get a 7th bonus game plus a free pizza from Papa John's. Packages start as low as $126. Go to pirates.com/summer. Get yours today. Feels like summer. Temperature nearing 90 on a very tropical and warm Father's Day afternoon here in Pittsburgh. Bring a fan. Fans bringing fans. That's smart. John Jay on the Father's Day, one of our forefathers of our country. And a base hit for Jay. He of the same name, of course, from centuries gone by. You know, I would have to make a Supreme Court reference at some point during the series with John Jay.
Well, I like when we don't talk about him because he seems to always be messing us up.
It was nice when he was with the Padres. You'd only have to see him 6 times a year. He's always seems to be a, what'd you say, a thorn in the side?
Yeah, I mean, it goes back to the Cardinal days when he was really just always getting hits against us at the wrong time.
Stolen 1 base so far this year. Been a part-time player with the Cubs, but Cubs have put him in roles that he has succeeded, hitting over 300 this year. Anthony Rizzo, first pitch he saw doubled off the end of the bat for the left field corner.
Beautiful backdoor breaking ball.
What do you mean backdoor? What does that mean?
Well, normally when you're trying to throw right-hander throws a breaking ball, it's always to the first base side of home plate. So when you throw the other side, it's the backdoor.
That's foul.
I don't know who gave it that name.
Yeah.
Way before my day. I guess it's because home plate looks like a house.
Oh, that makes sense, yeah. And then it just kind of.
Yeah, if you look down at home plate, it looks like a house. Got
Yeah.
the roof. One
Yeah.
side's the front house, one side's the back door.
That makes sense.
There it is.
Side door. No. And just a little flare. Jay's going to think of going to third.
Get
And
there
get in.
easily. Not good.
Not hit all that well, but hit just in the right spot. That's a couple times that Tyon's kind of made his pitch against Rizzo, I think, right? Or is that 2 up for Rizzo?
Well, no, that's
jamming him.
yeah. The Cubs to this point are doing what they need to do with the bat, and we haven't. I mean, we've been missing, not doing anything with hittable pitches, and it's only 2 innings. But if you go back, especially the last inning, and look, I probably should have done more there. You look at some of those locations of the pitches, and then the Cubs have been doing very good work on some tough pitches. Now, John Jay, his first hit was a right down the middle fastball, and he was able to line that back through the middle. But with Rizzo up there, they're trying to run that fastball in on his hands. He stands on top of the plate. You got to try to crowd him a little bit. That's why he gets hit with so many pitches. And he just was able to beat you. Looks like he's playing softball over there, though, with his lead. Did you see that?
I mean, with no leads.
He had his foot on the bag when that ball went home. No lead whatsoever. See if he does it again.
Well, Rizzo's stolen a few bases in his time. Look at that.
Like he says, it's like a softball game.
I don't know about that. No, we'll take it.
I don't know if I've ever seen that.
Well, safety first.
I'm going to pick him off.
I mean, is the scouting report on Diaz that good that he'll throw behind
look,
runners?
he's got to step off the back.
I mean, you think about when he got picked off last night on that. He got that straying lead, and then Nova threw over.
I think he needs to find a middle ground between a lead and his foot on the back, though. And now he's taking a normal lead.
And a walk to Happ will fill up the bases with nobody out. And now Taillon in some trouble. Where's the last one? 98 right at the knees.
Yeah, middle of the plate, but because Diaz is setting up over in the left hand or the right hand hitter's batter's box, he reaches back and has to backhand the ball off his body on a pitch that split the plate in half. That's for me, that's a long way to sit off out of the strike zone on a 3-ball pitch, unless you're trying to throw ball 4.
Well, the middle infield trades 2 outs for the run here naturally early in the game. And Contreras, who ripped a double his first time up, has bounced into 8 double plays this year. A young catcher, but still not a burner by any means. Just out of Freese's reach. That plate's 1. Rizzo on his way home, and he'll score on another double by Wilson Contreras.
They're hitting good pitches, and when the mistake comes, remember I was talking about Diaz, that breaking ball right down the middle. I mean, you got to take advantage of mistakes like that. This pitch, a breaking ball right down the middle. Same thing. If you went back to look at the pitch that Diaz, I believe, popped up, and you look at that one, it's the same thing.
That close. 4 straight Cubs have reached. Still nobody out. 3 RBIs for Contreras. He's driven them all in.
See, now watch the location. Look at that.
Middle.
Center, and that's kind of one of the differences in the ball game so far. Early on, it's realize that, but they're hitting good pitches, and at a crucial time, they get a hanging breaking ball and do something with it. And that goes a long way to helping build a big inning.
41 pitches for Tyone. 6 outs recorded. And behind on Hayward. And a cleanup role today. Left hand was taped up after an abrasion, sliding, trying to make a catch earlier. The Cubs already with 6 hits. And they've got men in scoring position with nobody out. Broke his bat. There's 1 out.
Second time today that Hayward has got his bat sawed off. The first time up, he got sawed off. The bat actually came in half. And this one just cracked it.
See a little piece of something.
A little nice spot, fastball up and in, similar to the location that Rizzo was pitched and gave up that hit.
Now Almora. That is foul ball. Popped out his first time around. A little weak line out. Trying to get out of further damage. 2 across here in the 3rd. Well, if there's a benefit to Tyone's demeanor, right? This is that time. He's always just focused on what he can do right now.
Yeah, nothing else would help you. I mean, just that's kind of what he does. It's whatever can help him. That's what he's going to be thinking about. No use showing that you're unhappy with pitches you're making or anything like that. He did have a little bit of reaction. One of the first times I've ever seen him when he hung that breaking ball and it was hit down into the corner for a double. Saw him had a little bit of a reaction there, but he doesn't do that very often. But immediately it was gone, and he was back to the business at hand, trying to get out of this mess.
He's ahead 1-2 on Almora. And he comes back to strike him out.
Excellent pitch right there, right where Diaz is asking for it. Diaz is excellent, giving the target, laying the glove in the ground. And he hit it. Watch the target. Before that, he was laying the glove down in the ground.
So when the hitter starts his swing, right, he thinks it's about knee high. So Almora strikes out. That's the 2nd strikeout for Tyone. So after the bases loaded double, he's got the next 2 men. Special baseballs today with blue seams. Now that was a fortunate strike 1 call on La Stella. And underneath that one, twisting toward the seats.
A little bit of a breeze blowing up the river. Kind of thought that would help bring that back, but maybe the stands going down the right field side maybe blocked that wind a little, because that one didn't seem to come back much at all.
We've had some severe thunderstorms over the last week in the later afternoon hours, almost like South Florida. Yeah. And that's kind of what they're thinking today, but after the game, hopefully. Hence the big breezes.
You know, we were talking earlier about trying to be efficient, not worrying so much about strikeout pitches and keeping the pitch count down. Now, with the score being 3-0, couple guys on, you can't worry about being efficient. You have to take some chances, go for strikeouts. That's what he's looking to do here.
Got through the middle, but Mercer takes care of that. Well, after the double, Tyone retires the next 3 men and limits it. It's 3-0 Chicago.
PMC scoreboard at PNC Park. I'm Robbie. It's Mikowski. Josh Harrison, he does a lot of good on the baseball field, but you know what? He does a lot of good in the community as well. And that continued yesterday at Hotel Monaco in downtown Pittsburgh. Josh Harrison and his wife Brittany held their second annual event for the Harrisons for Hope Foundation. He hosted a baby shower for 50 in-need expectant mothers. They received a morning of pampering followed by a gourmet meal, and they all took home a diaper bag full of new baby necessities such as diapers, baby toys, a bathtub for the baby, and a lot more. Now, Josh told me it's something he's always wanted to do, and it was his wife's Brittany's idea after they held their first event last year, and then the foundation got together and made the whole thing happen. Josh also added that the mother smiles on their faces made all the work that he and his wife and the foundation put in worth it. And how about this? To boot, 2 strollers were given away via a raffle, and one mother pulled Josh aside afterward and said, hey, I didn't know how I was going to afford a stroller for my baby, so thank you. And Josh walked away with a big smile on his face, and so did 50 in-need expectant mothers. Great job by Josh and Brittany Harrison, Joe.
Oh, thank you for reporting that, Robbie. You know, Josh and Brittany do a fantastic job. I've had the great pleasure of just being a part of one of these types of events that they had, and just a fantastic type thing that they do, because it directly benefits people, and I think they should be lauded for that.
Well, he's a great player, but he's also a very solid human being. Good man.
So thanks to Josh and Brittany for
that's the most
putting
important
that
thing.
together. Yeah, there's a lot of folks that need help, and they directly help as many people as they can when they can. John Lackey with a strikeout. And there's my family here today. my daughter Nancy there on the right, my wife Beth, and father-in-law Ray. Taking Ray out for Father's Day today, so nice, yeah. Nancy's 1.5 now. I miss her. Oh, that's great. Thanks, guys. Thanks for showing them. I get a better view that way.
That is, yeah, you do. That is kind of a great thing, though.
Yeah, Jen and Clay are over there.
Your family out on a beautiful Sunday like this.
Yeah, so everybody coming out and enjoying Father's Day today. Thanks for having us tuned in. It's nice that we were home today too. I had a little chance to have a little Father's Day this morning, and you and I both celebrated our Father's Day primarily yesterday.
Yeah, yesterday we had our big dinner. A lot of fun.
And of course, we're thinking of you too. This first Father's Day without yours.
Thank you.
So
it definitely is a little different. You look at it a little different way, but life is what it is. It's all a cycle moving on. And when I'm looking at my grandson, that makes you realize that grandkids. I also 3 outstanding granddaughters, and they were all there swimming in the pool, eating chicken. We had a great afternoon.
That's great. And Frazier aboard with a 1-out walk.
Need to get something going here. And we have a starting pitcher that has struggled this year. Of course, that doesn't mean anything. It's all between the lines on a certain day, and things can change quickly in the game of baseball. But coming in, you see a pitcher that's giving up a ton of home runs, as the ERA up in the 5s. You hope anyway that you can take advantage of that, and do some damage.
I like the way you put it. The Cubs have hit some good pitches. There have been a couple of mistakes,
and they've hit some mistake pitches also. And our hitters have to answer and do that same thing with Lackey. He hasn't given up anything in his first 2 innings of work, but there have been some opportunities, and things were set up pretty good for us last inning. And let him off the hook.
Well, my thought is this: Tyone, whose track record is that he's going to be very, very good, and Lackey so far this year has had a down year. If things are usually the opposite of that, they're bound to kind of go back the other way. So here in this 3rd inning and beyond, maybe.
Well, we were down, what was it, 3-0 Friday, right?
Right.
And came back to take a lead into the 9th inning of 4-3. So we just have to get with it, pitch well.
Sometimes just a lightning strike, like from Bell in that game. A couple extra base hits, home run and a triple. Let's go Bucks. I feel bad because it's a great sign, and we put them on TV, but we don't know who made the sign. Always hold it beneath your face. That way you get a little credit for it. Now 2-2. Dad out here on Father's Day. Want to see some Buccos runs here now.
Yeah, they're kind of like us. We want to see this offense get moving here.
They've been one of the better ones in recent weeks. One will twist towards the seats. Good assembly here this afternoon.
Yeah, very good. Packed in nicely.
On a very warm Sunday, yeah.
As long as I see it, I still can't get over the beauty of this ballpark from any angle. We always talk about the view of the city, but even looking back at it from the city, it's gorgeous.
Yeah. It never gets old. We bring folks up here every now and then. We
Tours.
Yeah, have a little tour, families and friends, and we speak with such great joy every time because it reminds us of when people get their first looks up here, just how great it is. It's a fair ball. La Stella able to get the second out. Frazier advances. Wanted to make sure he was alert.
Well, this is not a great opportunity here. You have a man in scoring position, but there is 2 outs. You know, to win games, you have to get a clutch hit now and then. The old 2-out RBI, and that's what we're looking for now. And hopefully, Polanco will come up with that.
But first, Contreras, who is known to converse with his pitchers. Have a quick word.
That's all right in my book. Go out there and have a word when time has already stopped. One thing that we discussed this at breakfast, lunch today was like the constant asking for timeout to go out and talk. That's got to come to an end at some point. It is just
within the flow of
way out of control.
Yeah.
In the flow of the game, go out like right there. That was perfect.
So now up to Polanco. Like he struck him out to end the first inning. He's got cool eye black stickers on today for Father's Day. It's funny how that has become a fashion statement. Used to just be you'd smear some, what is that stuff anyway? Black face paint or whatever. It says, "Love my dad." Make sure you put the right one on the right eye. Those are his career numbers entering play today against Lackey.
Single would be great right here. Get on the board.
Yeah, Frazier runs well at second.
Need to get going in the right direction here.
And almost thrown away. Saved by Baez. Well, we've seen Elias Diaz, the Pirates catcher, throw down on a runner trying to advance. But when is it a good idea and when is it too much? Or is it just all a feel thing?
Well, one of the things, you see it right there, when you put on a pickoff like that, the infielder is vacating his position. So is that a good thing? They go to such great lengths with all their analytics to get the perfect place for everybody to play. And then you put on a pickoff play and have everybody running out of position, or not everybody, but at least one person. And we saw one time this year,
that's right,
that there was a hit because of that, and it had a great impact on the outcome of the ball game. So I think that's one of the arguments against those pickoff throws. I think is earlier in an inning with nobody out, 1 out, they might be more important than with 2 outs. You got 2 outs. Then it becomes a little bit more of a risk to put something like that on. And when you can like say, hey, let's get the hitter and we don't have to worry about the runner can't hurt us where he's at unless the hitter gets a hit. So let's concentrate on the hitter.
Right. That's something that everyone learns in time, I guess, right? As you develop a feel for the game at the advanced level. And Polanco works a 2-out walk. So a pair of free passes in the inning for John Lackey.
Yeah, another thing that happens sometimes, you have a catcher that's coming out of his crouch a little early because he knows he has a pickoff throw on. So maybe he doesn't get a pitch called a strike that you would have otherwise because he came up and took that strike away. The umpire couldn't see it. It's just you have to, I think, be a little selective. Not that you can't do it. And there are some catchers that have those great arms and very accurate, get a feel for it. That's fine, but it can be really overdone.
David Freese with 2 outs. That's going to hang up there long enough. And Hayward will retire the side. 2 walks, 2 left. Through 3-0 Chicago.
Everything you did. Happy Father's Day. I love you.
Happy Father's Day, Dad, and happy Father's Day to all the Pirate dads out there.
Hey, Pops. Happy Father's Day. Thank you for pushing me and helping me realize my potential, and always being there to take me to all my tournaments, travel ball, and just always being there for me.
Nice thought from Jameson Tyone on his dad Michael. All the dads, happy Father's Day to you. 3-0 Chicago so far. Through the first third. Good day for a freeze pop. Right, there you go. Warm afternoon. Baez drives it out. Clint Hurdle said something very interesting today. I thought that, we have observed that Polanco has not been himself out there defensively, whether it was in left field earlier this year or in right field. But he said that that Polanco's a little tentative out there. He's afraid of continuing to get hurt, as he's been off and on injured so often lately. And it looked like it there. Hurdle wants him to go out and play, just like he did in the backyard. Just go out and play. Don't worry about getting hurt per se, and that everything will take care of itself.
Well,
and not everybody's flawless, of course. You're going to see something, but we've seen this time and time again on balls that he gets to. And
yeah, to tell somebody, don't worry about the wall, or go up, make that catch. Play like Frazier did the other night. Same ball, he went up, caught it. Able to twist, actually protect the ball, hit the wall. I mean, you like to see that, but it's hard to tell somebody to do that.
And Bell is going to go to first. So that moves Baez to third. Sacrifice successful for Lackey. Yeah, it's easier said than done, because Polanco hurting his ankle over there on the sidewall just a couple of weeks ago. Back in left field, clanging against the wall out there. And as players have those experiences,
another thing about defense was what just happened right here in front of us.
Yeah.
Bell is playing in tight to prevent the sacrifice. The ball is hit firm, one hopper right at him. We're down 3-0. And there was no effort to stop the runner going to third with 1 out. Now we got to bring the inning in.
Right.
I mean, if we're up by 3 runs, yeah, but.
And Bell's back is turned.
But look at that one hopper, boom. I mean, the runner going to the third wasn't even halfway. Wasn't even halfway.
No, I thought the same thing.
You're down by 3 runs. You got to take some chances on defense to not fall behind any further.
And like I said, Bell's back is to third when he fields that ball. Those are the little things that the above average first baseman know the footwork and know what to do. And Bell, again, not as accomplished over there.
That play has to be made.
I thought the same thing.
But for me, that's a play that needs to be made more than even the catch that we were talking about on the outfield. That is a play that needs to be made.
Joey Cora works with the infielders.
The leadoff double has an impact, but having a guy at third with 1 out and now having to have the infielders in on the edge of the grass has at least that much impact.
And just a little poke that if the infield's back, I don't know, maybe.
That might be caught. I mean, the pitching is different with it changes everything. You can't say, well, what if they would have caught that ball, because that ball's probably never hit in that fashion because of that scenario. The hitter is changing what he's trying to do. It is a big play to get a guy to third base with 1 out.
Yeah, Jay, all he has to do is either ground it hard or hit it into that no man's land.
Infield in, just a.
The outfield's still playing deep, so yeah, I mean, you got a lot of real estate out there. Jay at first. It's 4-0 Chicago. Now, that's great to point that out, because those are little things over the course of the game you may not see, but it could have, like you said, it could have a. What if that 1 run? What if it's a 4-3 game late instead of a 3-3 game?
When you're behind, you have to take chances on defense. When you're ahead, you get conservative on defense, and then you just get outs because the other team's going to run out of time, run out of outs. When you have a comfortable lead, that's kind of the opposite of running the bases. When you're behind, conservative on the bases. When you're ahead, got a nice lead, you can take some chances on the bases. Make them throw you out. That's the same deal. But you can't make conservative plays on defense just to make sure you get an out there when you're already down by 3. Now you're down by 4.
Now perhaps a double play ball can tidy things up, but there's a very good hitter, as we've seen. 2 hits already today. Has hit into 6 double plays. Our WB Mason strike zone.
The first pitch was called a ball. Number 3 pitch got the count right. Nice curveball down in the strike zone. Rizzo fouling that off. Now, last time up, remember, they tried to jam him inside. They haven't gone up there yet this at bat. Will they do it again? And he got a hit, but he didn't really hit it all that well. They made a good pitch.
Strikes out Rizzo.
Boy, got him to swing at a pitch way outside. Look at that. That had to be about 6 inches off the plate away. A fastball. Rizzo not too happy, shaking his head at himself as he's going back, wondering, why did I chase that one? I'm thinking what in his mind, he's a little bit of a 2-strike approach. He's concerned that that's going to be a breaking ball and it's going to be a backdoor pitch.
Bell gets to the bag and they get the final out. So a run for the Cubs here on Father's Day.
It's time for the Toyota all-wheel drive RAV4th inning. Toyota, what drives you?
Happy Father's Day to you. Wish we had better news to report so far. It's 4-0 Chicago. And there's Dale and Jerome Nadio. Father and son here at work together.
Working the RoboCam.
Yeah. Bill Morello, also who works here in the booth and is downstairs from us right now. Happy Father's Day.
Pull double duty every day. Up here in the booth and then hustle down to the spot behind home plate for the game.
John Jay has swung over to right field. He was in left prior. Jason Hayward had made a sliding grab and had a pretty deep abrasion on his left wrist. So Kyle Schwarber will come in the game. That is in left field. He'll take over in that number 4 spot. He'll be due up second in the 5th. Now a strike. Josh Bell today reached on an error. Least foul. No, when he makes contact, there is a, I mean, there's a loud thump most of the time.
Yeah, that one there, he really was able to get out too early because he was in that 3-1 count. So you can really charge after a fastball there. And even though the ball was up and in, he got the head of the bat right to it.
Leadoff walk.
There's the pitch that got Rizzo out, that same spot. Bell able to say no to it. Most of the time we've seen, especially for a young rookie, he's real good about not chasing bad pitches. And that's what we need right now. You got to make sure that the ball's in the strike zone and not chase anything. Take some walks. Got to do something to build a big inning now, down by 4.
Let me get a couple back here. Father and son parrot. Dad taught him how to do that. You don't just get hatched knowing how to do that. The appeal down to Jeff Kellogg.
First they wanted the pitch, then they wanted to swing. Got neither one. Ball was called inside.
And McCutchen, who has been red hot last night, number 12. Now he hunts those first pitch curveballs sometimes.
Yeah, there's been a number of his home runs. The balls that he's pulling have been off-speed pitches, curveballs, which is good. You don't want him. You know, when you pull fastballs out of the ballpark, that means that you're probably in a situation where you're going to be vulnerable to the off-speed pitches.
9 straight seasons now with 12 home runs. Second Pirate to do that. Of course, Willie Stargell just did it over 16 consecutive seasons. Never have a down year, never have a year lost to injury. Watch the Cubs catcher Contreras.
Breaking ball and put it on Contreras' chin.
Breaking ball.
Is that a changeup maybe? It didn't really break much, but obviously it didn't have much speed on it. Some kind of an off-speed pitch.
A rare chase. That's the one thing that even earlier this year, McCutchen, when he wasn't getting the hits, was not really chasing a whole lot. So a rare swing outside the zone.
We're talking about that with Bell up there. I mean, this is something that you down by 4 runs. You got to try to avoid. You got an opportunity for the get base on balls. You got to take them, and that breaking ball was way out of the strike zone.
Now Elias Diaz. Pirates have 1 hit off John Lackey so far. They've had a couple of innings afforded to them with 3 walks and an error.
Yeah, this ball game right now is almost 180 degrees opposite of what I thought it would be.
Same here. Wade LeBlanc starting to get up. Tyone 4 runs through 4 innings and has allowed hits in every inning, 8 in total. Slowly hit, but slowly running. Diaz is a double play victim. So the leadoff walk erased. The Pirates still down 4-0. Been pretty much all Cubs so far. 4-0 on our UPMC scoreboard. Oh, I like that. First baseball game on Father's Day. Good time for it. Yeah. The Parrots. And Jameson Tyone. I don't know. I don't feel like he's pitching all that much different than he did in his last outing. That wasn't all that sharp, but he was able to shut out the Rockies over 5 innings. And here today, he's given up 8 hits and 4 runs.
Yeah, I agree. Not a whole lot difference. When he's made a couple of bad pitches, they have not, for the most part, allowed him to get through. There's been a couple of times where he's thrown balls right down the middle and got outs. The first Hayward at bat where he chopped the bat in half, that was a fastball center. So he has gotten away with a few pitches, but to the Cubs' credit, they haven't allowed that to happen very often. And there's also the other side of the coin. When he throws a pitcher's pitch, say down and away, they go the other way. Rizzo did that to start the game off. Got that pitch on the outside corner, went with it, rolled a ball down the corner, or actually lined the ball down the corner for a double. So that's kind of the difference for him. There have been a couple of plays that maybe we could have made that would have helped him out, especially last inning. Would have kept a run off the board, but it's part of the game of baseball. This happens sometimes.
Well, Tyone has only faced 2 batters today without a man on base. And there's Contreras striking out after his 2 doubles today. I should amend that and include the leadoff men in each inning. So Jason Hayward has left the ballgame today. He suffered a left hand and wrist abrasion, dragging that left trailing hand on the dirt, and he stayed into play out there for a couple of innings, had it taped up, and then also had a ball come in on his hands as well, so probably didn't feel all that great. So he had to come out, and Kyle Schwarber is in, hitting just 172. Always a threat, though, to turn a ball around. This is only the 2nd inning where the Cubs didn't have the leadoff man on. And in that inning, that was the 2nd inning, the 2nd batter, in that case Baez, had a base hit. So Tyone has continually worked with base runners aboard, and he's even faced 9 batters with men in scoring position. So a lot of high intensity pitches from Tyone already. And in this heat, it probably feels like he's thrown 170 pitches.
Yeah, the pitch efficiency is not going to be there what we were hoping for today, but the score is not what we were hoping for either. Down by 4 runs in the 5th innings. It's just not what either one of us thought it was going to be to this point. And still half the game is left, so just got to get real good work the rest of the way. Probably most of that will be from the bullpen, and hopefully we can start doing a little bit better on offense. That might be the most surprising thing to me this afternoon. Nice hitting conditions, beautiful warm afternoon.
Team that's been hitting well.
A team that's been hitting well. I just think we should be doing much more with the sticks today.
Well, Tyone's spot is due up 2nd in the bottom half of this inning. And so even though if he makes this a quick inning, could certainly go another, and maybe even one more after that, or at least start the next inning. Being down 4 runs, I'll probably be satisfied with that. Although they might be down a couple of relievers today, certainly Rivero and maybe Nicasio. I would think Hudson's available, even though he pitched the last 2 short outings. All the decisions that have to be made in a National League game, right?
Yeah, my guess is 4-0. They'll make a move.
Maybe a 1-run game, and depending on the situation, might stick around. Well, Tyone's going to work his first 1, 2, 3 inning. Special baseballs today on a special day. Happy Father's Day.
Pirates Baseball on Root Sports is brought to you by the Chevy Colorado and your Western PA Chevy dealers. And by Day Automotive. We're going to make your day. Let's go Bucks!
Here on Father's Day, glad you're with us. Taking Dad out to the game, or is Dad taking them? I don't know. 4-0 Chicago. Either way, it's great to be out with Dad.
Like that shirt, huh?
Yeah.
Nice.
And his girls with him today. Jordy Mercer. He's a dad, and he's starting things here at the Pirates' 5th. I was looking at it today, and Mercer, boy, oh boy, you know, over the last 4 weeks, this is not just, you know, a little fling now. He's got the best batting average in baseball. He's hitting, coming into today, 391 over the last 4 weeks.
Keeps us up for just a little bit longer. I mean, he's got to be a solid consideration for an all-star berth. It's up above 300.
Had a bobblehead day yesterday. But I'm with you. I mean, so reliable in the field. Toward the corner.
Get out of here.
This one is gone. Jordy Mercer has homered. That one's for Dad.
Line bullet. A little bit of a question about whether that was going to be high enough. They hit it extremely hard. Just didn't get much of a launch angle out of it, but good enough.
That was a rocket out of here. Home run number 6 for Jordy Mercer.
There's that hanging breaking ball, and that ripped like it should be.
20th home run allowed by John Lackey.
All right.
Nice catch too, by the way. Oh, it's coming in there hot.
See if Osuna can. Nope.
Osuna pinch hitting for Tyone.
Mercer showing the guys how to do it. I was about to say, let's see if Osuna can follow up with a nice hard hit ball of himself, but still just one out in this inning and hit it in the right spot. If you're not going to hit it real high, you got to pull it down that line. About maybe 2 rows deep.
So Mercer just keeps on hitting. I mean, for most of a month, hitting close to 400. And Wade LeBlanc looks like he'll be next. Another comebacker. So 2 gone in the Pirates' 5th. That home run by Mercer also extending his hitting streak to 8 games. He's very seldom not hit safely. Well, at least now you get one, and with the part of the order coming up here, trying to string something together. Jay Hay has bounced out a couple of times. And that will be the final out, but the Pirates get on the scoreboard. There's a loud sound coming from Jordy Mercer's bat. Pirates are down currently 4-1 to the Cubs. Music from 311. They're coming to stage A on July the 6th. Beautiful Sunday afternoon. Happy Father's Day to you. Say what's up to Mags out there, hanging out in the summer heat right next to the blue cotton candy. And Kevin out there as well. Thanks for staying out there. I know it's a hot day, fellas. Jordy Mercer with a home run, continuing his scorching hitting. And now to the bullpen for the Buccos.
Need somebody to put up a 1 or 2 zeros in a row and try to hold the fort. Be up to Wade.
They had been very, very reliable all this year. Has fallen on a little bit of hard times as of late.
Good change of pace after Tyone.
Go from a hard throwing righty to a soft tossing lefty. Stella 0 for 2 today. Soft contact. Don't have to throw hard, right, to get outs. So Stella is gone. Look at our social media. Point Park brings it to you, and Instagram. Trevor Williams with son Ike. Happy Father's Day, and Andrew McCutcheon saying, "I love you, Pops." Yeah, really a thoughtful thank you to Lorenzo, who worked in mines in Florida where they grew up, and that is some tough work. I have a lot of respect for folks that do that for a living and grew up with modest means, still found a way to get his son all the baseball events, spend time with him when he could, and I bet you Pop's very proud today. All the dads out there, especially of these guys who have made it all the way to the major leagues. Vince Sr., the dad of Josh. And a catch. Just enough room for Elias Diaz. Well, he has retired Baez twice today now.
You know, one of the things you like right now, what you're seeing out of LeBlanc, we talked about right there at the edge. We talked about the efficiency and the plan that the Pirate pitchers always have about the first 3 pitches. You want to make something happen in those first 3 pitches. And of a secondary nature, which is also very important, is 2 of the first 3 pitches, they want them to be strikes. And LeBlanc comes into the ball game and is doing just that.
And got a couple weak outs. John Lackey will be swinging away here. 115 career batter coming into play. Well, the Pirates bullpen a little bit beaten up as of late. So if LeBlanc can give you some length here, as we've seen him do quite a bit earlier on this season when asked to do so, that could really help bridge the gap. Guys starting to get loose in case they're called upon. Hudson standing along with Jan Marinos in the foreground. Golfed out there to Frazier. So LeBlanc, a very quiet 1-2-3 inning. Or one lead, I should say, is this one certainly not for the birds. Beautiful summer day here, and lots of great nights, including University Night. You can show your pride by attending your school's University Night here at PNC Park. Purchase tickets online and join fellow fans and alumni of Pitt, Penn State, Duquesne, and your school for a night here at PNC Park. Ticket packages include a Pirates cap and your university colors. To get your cap and everything else, pirates.com/University Nights. And here, 4-1 after Mercer coming through with the home run earlier. And Gregory Polanco, Virgilio, his father, is here today, and family. Wonderful to see the Polanco family here as well, and Gregory coming through with a big hit for Dad. A day early, but still wearing the Unings. Yanked that ball out of here for his 4th home run. Nice night to see him drive the ball yesterday for extra bases. It went off the wall. Today has struck out and walked.
Getting late and to make a move here.
Like he starts the inning at 82 pitches. But yeah, why not? Has a double meaning today, right?
Very much so.
Literally and figuratively. Well, we noted that Lackey has now given up 20 home runs this year, so momentary magic can happen at any point.
Like to see him have a touch of wildness maybe before we get one of those home runs.
Pirates have not hit a fly ball since other than Mercer's home run since the 3rd inning.
But
So
Lackey's been put in a position now with this comfortable lead that he doesn't have to fear the home run.
Yeah.
He doesn't have to worry about, oh, I got to make a perfect pitch here. It might go out of the ballpark. Well, it doesn't matter. It's just a solo shot to this part. So he's going after the hitters. He can be aggressive in that strike zone. Not helping us out at all. First pitch, breaking ball, first strike. There's no fear about having to put it in a real good spot. Just wants to throw it for a strike, get ahead. A lot of the hitters at this point are taking a strike because of the score.
Lackey, we saw those numbers. First pitch strike, he leads the league in first pitch strikes. More than 2/3 of the time the hitter starts off strike one or puts it in play on the first pitch.
Imagine that out of 20 home runs, there's been a few of those on first pitch.
Oh yeah, I mean if you know a guy is going to try to get ahead, which most pitchers try to do, some are better than others.
That doesn't mean you go up there and think, I'm going to swing at the first pitch. No,
right.
You think, okay, this is what he might throw me first pitch. I'm going to set on it, and if I guess right, I'm going to drive it to the fence anyway. I mean, that's kind of the mindset I think a good hitter gets into when you have somebody that throws a lot of first pitch strikes. You know, especially if it's a get me over breaking ball type pitch, you can say, okay, I'm gonna look for a hanging breaking ball here, and if I get it, I'm not going to miss it. Yeah,
that might have been what Kutch did last night.
That's what you're thinking about. I mean, if you don't do that, well, then what are scouting reports even for?
Right, yeah.
Why have them?
Try to have tendencies, and then you know, a hitter of there's Andrew McCutchen, who homered yesterday. But then your own personal experience, right? A lot of hitters used to keep little books.
Kept nothing. Nope.
No, I mean hitters would keep books.
It's all up here.
Yeah.
Oh, hitters?
Yeah, some hitters used to keep books. I don't know if it's now a
thing of the past. I'm
video
sure.
locker or something like that. Bookmark things or what have you.
The only hitter I ever saw really do anything like that was Jay Bell. Used to keep Polaroids of
Polaroids
of release points, and he would have like the little book of that, and he would look at them, and like a reliever would come into the game, he'd go to his book, and he wanted
so you can see where the ball,
mental picture of where that guy releases the ball.
That will be the second out here.
It might not have been Polaroids, but they look like.
Yeah, a little
in his little book, they kind of look like that to me.
But that way he could go, okay, I remember this guy. I need to look in this spot for him.
Yeah, I mean, that's what a lot of hitters, I think, they try and do, is they try to figure out where that window is where they're going to see the ball come out of.
And that makes sense, too, because that way first pitch that he sees in the ball game, he's ready for it rather than having to, maybe wait or try to view it from the on-deck circle.
I think when I saw him do that would be when he would be facing a reliever for the first time. Is this guy over the top? Is he a three-quarters guy? There were some relievers you certainly didn't have to do that with. You've seen them enough. The premier guys, you know who they are. You know what they look like.
Bell today has reached twice on an error and a walk. Lackey has gone as far as 106 pitches this year. And he's been around a long time, so if he's effective, I'm sure the Cubs can rely on him. Number 6 hitter Andrew McCutchen would be next if Bell can reach. That's a fair ball. They'll hustle him down that line, but 3 groundouts for Lackey in the Pirates' 6th inning. Still 4-1 Chicago.
Yesterday, the Pirates joined with the Greater Baldwin Whitehall Athletic Association for a ribbon-cutting event at Leland Field. Pirates President Frank Coonley and pitcher Chad Kuhl were in attendance for the grand reopening of the field. And get this, it was made possible by a $10,000 matching grant through Pirates Charities Fields for Kids program. They reconditioned 2 primary baseball fields along with updates to the league's primary softball field in Whitehall. The Fields for Kids program is one of Pirates Charities' signature programs and provides financial support to improve youth baseball and softball facilities through matching grants. A really cool day out there at Baldwin Whitehall, Joe and Bob.
Yeah, near our neck of the woods in the South Hills there. Thank you, Robbie.
It's so important to keep those youngsters involved in the sport and keep the places to play the game in nice shape. Allow them the opportunity of that youth baseball experience brings so much joy. We've talked about it a lot today on Father's Day, that relationship you build out there during the little league games lasts a lifetime.
You know, not everybody plays on this field for a living, and that's okay. I mean, so much of playing ball, baseball, softball, what have you, growing up, is for the fun of it. You don't have to get a scholarship or sign a pro contract or make the major leagues. If you do, that's a bonus. Just having fun with friends, and that's what it's all about. Now, Freese has had a couple just out of his reach today. Another good effort, but John Jay is 3 for 3. And you can save big with the Dick's Sporting Goods scorecard. Use it to get $10 off tickets in the outfield box for Sunday through Thursday home games. Go to pirates.com/scorecard. Pick up your tickets today. The leadoff man on for Chicago. First base runner against LeBlanc in his second inning of relief. Anthony Rizzo has doubled and singled today. I was looking at the splits on Rizzo, and he's hit lefties well in recent years. There's not a real drop off there, and I would think with him crowding the plate, is it easier for a lefty to come in?
Oh yeah, sure it is.
But still, with him over the plate, is it? I mean, does he take that away from some left-handers, or how do you pitch him to get him out?
He's certainly not on the plate like he normally is today. He's backed off a little bit, but for just not talking about Rizzo, but just a normal the way you do. If somebody is on top of the plate, yeah, you live on his hands all day long until he tries to do something different to counteract that. If he doesn't ever do anything different, you never do anything different. You just keep throwing it in there. And if you make your pitch and get it in on his hands to get the barrel to the ball.
Now Rizzo has sent one into the seats. His 16th home run, and that gives the Cubs a 5-run advantage.
To get the barrel to the ball, he's got to get out there quick, real quick, because you're throwing the ball in on his hands. Especially if you have a decent velocity type fastball. That's the way you pitch guys when they're on top of the plate. And it's the opposite. When they're off the plate, you got to go away.
But way away, not like that one. That was a mistake by
that's middle of the plate. You can see the strike zone where it is. That's thigh high in the middle of the plate. That's very hittable pitch at the big league level.
And so Rizzo with his 3rd hit today. And I brought that up because I was curious. He's been swinging the bat so well lately that the lefty, does he neutralize Rizzo at all? At least the stats say no, but what do you have to do to get him out? And obviously that's a pitch that LeBlanc would have tried to locate differently.
Now we've seen Rizzo, speak particular to him again, in the past, where he'll put that toe of his left foot, his back foot, he'll put that right on the inside edge of the batter's box. So where basically at that point his hands are on the inside of the plate. So when he does that, if that's where he's going to stand, you have to throw him inside. And how many times a year does he get hit?
12 already.
So there's a good reason for that. It's not like he's just some bad guy everybody's trying to throw at. No, he's a good guy as far as I've ever heard. People generally like him a lot, but he's on top of the plate. You got to pitch him inside, so he's going to get hit.
That's the first out after that 2-run homer. And John Maley, the Cubs hitting coach. But Rizzo, as you mentioned, I mean, maybe his hands were just in off the plate, a little bit back from where he normally.
Yeah, he was not where
he still crowds to play more than
in that
average.
particular at bat. I mean, I didn't look at the first couple of bats but because we were talking about it, I looked where he was standing, and I'm like, oh wow, he's backed off a good 6 maybe 7 inches from where we've seen him in the future, where he's right on the edge of the plate. We'll check it out next at bat, see if he does the same thing later on.
He's been hot hitting since moving into that leadoff spot.
The guys will make some adjustments depending on who's pitching too. Now there are some hitters that they are locked into the certain spot. They will never move for anything. But I've seen other guys that, depending on who's out there, what kind of pitches they use, they will move around a little bit.
Contreras today, pair of doubles, they did the first 3 runs for the Cubs, and he's down on strikes. LeBlanc with his first strikeout.
Right there.
88 miles an hour. When it's put where you want it, right?
Yeah, it's a good location.
Schwarber went down his first time. Came in for Jason Hayward, who left a couple of innings after suffering an abrasion on his left wrist and hand, sliding to try to make a play down the right field line.
Well, one of the things we've been talking about a lot, Joe, you and I, over the last couple of weeks is getting into the Central Division. We had the fewest in-division games in all of baseball. There was going to be a great opportunity with the division just kind of sitting here and nobody running away with it to quickly make hay while the sun shines and maybe jump up to the top and get really involved in this race to see who's going to win this division. The first test now here against the Cubs, which is perfect. It's what you wanted. If this score stands up, it's not going to be a good start.
Yeah, especially on your home turf.
And then we go to Milwaukee and then St. Louis. The opportunity is there, but it's also a double-edged sword. It can go the other way if you're not careful, and don't want that to happen. Division games are very important.
It begins the series begins a 10-game stretch where the Pirates play the 3 teams ahead of them in the standings, with the Reds losing 8 in a row. They've fallen to 5th. And it makes that Friday night game sting a little bit more. You have 3 outs away with a 1-run lead. And of course, some of those games aren't going to go your way. You're not going to win every single time you lead in the 9th inning, although it didn't feel that way. The Pirates are doing that for a couple of years in a row. But that one stings, because then if you feel, okay, if you convert that game now, it's like the Rockies series. You win the first 2, and a good team is able to get the final game of the series against you. Okay, you're just trying to win series. But so far here, the Cubs poised to take that over Bell, and Schwarber with a hit. He's going to try for 2. And a 2-out, 2-base hit for Kyle Schwarber.
And Clint's going to go out and bring the hook with him.
Just out of the reach of Bell. Yep, by a decent margin. Good angle there. So 3 hits in the inning, and Wade LeBlanc, who had been so good, has now allowed runs in 5 of his last 6 outings, and Jan Marinez is coming in. 7th, leading 6-1. And look at our Point Park tweets, and Shane Baz, the Pirates' first-round draft pick this year, celebrating his 18th birthday here in Pittsburgh yesterday, and got to experience a Pittsburgh staple, Permane Brothers. Yep, the fries are on the sandwich. And first chance of him to get a feel for Pittsburgh, and of course, they got one over there in Market Square. Yeah, you can't visit Pittsburgh for the first time without checking in there. And great to see Shane Baz out here and being recognized, and now he'll begin his professional career in the Gulf Coast League and try to make his way here for good. Albert Almora Jr. batting with 2 outs.
Jan's numbers on the season, his combined numbers.
Splitting time with Milwaukee. Almora 0 for 3 today. So after the 2-out double, Clint Hurdle wanting to go with the righty against Almora, who has hit lefties very, very well this year, 378. And considering a couple runs already across, and Schwarber in scoring position.
Man, see those flags in the background of that shot.
So Mourinho strikes him out on 3 pitches. And as our tradition.
Support to our troops here and abroad. The Pirates and Sport Clips welcome Specialist Justin Moore, a veteran of the United States Army, where he was an infantry paratrooper for the 82nd Airborne. During his service, Justin was deployed to both Afghanistan and Iraq. Along with the Pirates and Operation Troop Appreciation, please join us in thanking Justin for his service. And now here to lead us with God Bless America is Mike Luft.
God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with a light from above. From the mountains to the prairies, to the oceans white with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home, sweet
The telecast is presented by the authority of the Pittsburgh Pirates and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Pittsburgh Pirates.
Anthony Rizzo with home run number 16 has given the Cubs now a 6-1 advantage. Hope you had a nice stretch. And just a reminder to you, as you enjoy a cold one, to look forward to Miller Time later in the game. Brought to you by Miller Lite. That's some serious flow. The Renegades of the Rotunda. Father's Day. Time for families to hang out. A little ice cream. Watch a little baseball. As the Cubs now have gone to the bullpen for the first time today. Carl Edwards Jr.
A nice ERA, just a touch under 2 there. Pretty hard worker. 30 games now. Doesn't give many hits, does he?
Carl Edwards Jr., son of Carl Edwards Sr. Here on Father's Day. Just taking a guess.
Good guess.
He is thin but throws very hard. Out of Prosperity, South Carolina.
Baseball doesn't weigh much. You don't have to be real big and have big imposing muscles. Some of the smaller guys have always had the best stuff.
Yeah, more of a whip action, right? I mean,
oh, absolutely. Yeah, it doesn't
more of a benefit. You don't want to be all muscle bound, right?
Doesn't take. Well, I mean, I think
a little bit more flexible.
Body size really doesn't have much to do with it.
But flexibility, right?
You'll see, you know, big guys that you would think, you know, they're 6'6", and it looks like they could throw the, you know, ball through a locomotive, but then they're not. They're not that type of pitcher. And then every now and then you'll see somebody that's very slender that has a great arm, like Pedro Martinez, somebody like that. And they have good reactions too when they're.
Thank goodness he deflected that ball. Oh
yeah,
my!
That one was right at the noggin.
Got the hands up, a 1-4 to 3 put out, and that's it.
Able to get the leather on the ball.
Watch it come right back. Oof.
And those balls come back like that way faster than you sent them in there. Little slider. Look at the way that good contact takes the spin off the ball.
Here it is in real time. 1-1. I can't even say a second, right? I mean, there's no time.
Yeah, from contact of the bat till it hits your glove, maybe 3/10.
Yeah, StatCast says it was thrown at 94, hit at 97. And by the time you finish, what do you say? How close you are to where the bat meets ball?
Oh, I don't know.
55?
50 feet.
50?
52.
52
like
feet.
That.
Okay, so all right.
You got to figure you're at least.
Do the math there, right? 97 miles per hour.
Maybe 54. We'll go with 54. 6 feet in front of the rubber.
Yeah. So 97 miles an hour, 54 feet. How much time is that?
I don't know.
Well, I don't know either. Someone did know.
I think a normal pitch takes about 4/10 to get home. So I'm thinking maybe 3/10 to get back.
There's your summer vacation math equation to keep your mind sharp. A little brain teaser.
Somebody tweet that in.
Ask your parents' permission before you text or tweet. Always hashtag Bucks Booth. You can reach us. No answering machine there.
You know, that's really the important number when we talk about pitchers and going home. Mile per hour really doesn't mean a whole lot. It's the time of flight that they should be telling you.
Because what if you had a release point closer to plate? There's Diaz with his first hit.
But we're always talking about timing as being the thing that gets messed up. So the difference in the time of flight would show why there is a problem and why it messes up the hitters.
On a breaking ball, it takes a little longer to get there, but you're trying to deceive the hitter, right? Something like that. Diaz is 1 for 3 today. Jordy Mercer yanked a home run right down the left field line. One of the 3 Pirates hits today. That extended his hitting streak to 8 games. We'll go back to May the 22nd. Jordy Mercer started really coming alive at the plate. He's hitting .394 since then. And if you weren't with us, or even if you were, it's fun to watch again. Leading off the 5th.
Time of flight wasn't much on that one.
Yeah. Flight time is 1 second, or whatever it is, 3 seconds. Sixth home run for Mercer.
Here's the thing about that time of flight deal too. If you're at home trying to figure it out, of let's say a pitch, if you're letting it go at 95, by the time it gets to the plate, it's probably only doing about 88.
Yeah.
So you have to figure that into your equation too. And different pitches slow down at different amounts depending on the aerodynamics of the spin you're putting on the ball. So there's more to this than BCI.
You're blowing my mind.
I am, isn't it? It's incredible.
Mercer grounds into 2, and the Cubs lead by 5.
Root Sports is brought to you by Barrel. Check out barreltires.com and never overpay for tires again. And by Levin's, the official furniture and mattress supplier to the Pittsburgh Pirates. For the best quality, service, and value, shop Levin's. Let's go Bucks!
Beautiful afternoon here at PNC Park on Father's Day. Thanks for having us with you. As it is 6-1 Chicago. Very warm afternoon here. And there's the Vanslow family that's here today. Lots of families joining everybody here today. And Megan, our social media production assistant, her family here today. Thanks for having us on with your family.
Edgar Santana on for the 4th time this year. Going to be a very interesting young man to watch. He Has the kind of stuff that you would look for a end of the game type reliever.
And up there, 1 pitch, 1 out.
He'll throw into the upper 90s with that fastball and has a slider that everybody likes to talk about. Really an out pitch, a swing and a miss pitch for him.
Well, we saw him in spring training, and of course the intensity of those games differs quite a bit, and also the caliber of the opposition at times, but the pure stuff was
very good.
Keep a couple guys.
He's got an impressive arsenal there with that fastball and the slider for a like I say, for a bullpen guy. If you got good command, 2 pitches is plenty, and that's the key for any youngster that has a plus arm like he does. Is okay, now what kind of command does he have with that stuff?
This is only the 3rd season that he's been pitching in the United States. He signed a couple of days before his 22nd birthday out of the Dominican Republic. Usually those guys will sign around sometime after their 16th birthday. But Santana wasn't even playing baseball, didn't even own a glove until his late teen years. Jake Arrieta, who homered yesterday, a pitcher, he's on deck to bat for Carl Edwards Jr. And so, considering a little bit of a short bench for the Cubs today, might as well use Arrieta here. 6 career home runs now for Arrieta. Pirates still prevailing last night. He is not preferred here.
No, got a nice little round of boos there when they announced his name.
And Nova said he liked the pitch that he threw to him, but sometimes guys will get you, even pitchers. Still overall 4 out of 30 this year. So Carl Edwards Jr. worked to score the 7th. Foul ball.
Good time now to show him that slider and put it just off the plate. If you can throw that slider just off the plate a couple inches, and I think we can go to the dugout.
9th pitch of the inning, and he takes care of it.
Oh, just throw it down the middle. It'll still work.
Nice 1-2-3 inning for the rookie on this hot day. And Shannon, one of the ball girls here at PNC Park with her folks, Dan and Gail, here on Father's Day. Wish we had a better score to report so far, but a couple of licks left for the Buccos before they hit the road. Our Nissan Road Ahead, a 4-game series, begins at Miller Park in Milwaukee beginning tomorrow, and we're on the air with you at 7 p.m. as Garrett Cole will oppose Matt Garza. Then Cool, Williams, and Nova for the rest of the series against the first place Milwaukee Brewers.
New pitcher for the Cubbies, Hector Rondon. ERA up there a little bit. A lot of strikeouts. 29 and 24 innings. Throws hard.
Max Moroff had a stellar defensive play yesterday. Coming in as a late inning replacement. Tough for a rookie that doesn't get a lot of at bats, but I guess the one thing you can do right consistently is defend. That doesn't go away with lack of playing time.
It's one of the more difficult things when you first get to the big leagues as a regular player, unless you're, you know, seen as a possible starter and run out there most of the time, like Bell, for instance, then you got to get used to coming off that bench. And you've never done that before. You got to the big leagues because no matter where you've been at, whether amateur leagues or in the minor leagues, you're one of the best players. So you keep moving up the ladder till you get here.
Moroff was tied for the league lead in home runs in the International League. That's the AAA league that Indianapolis is in. And so the best players in that league, more often than not, are used as extras or bench players. Unless, like you said, they're viewed as everyday material.
And even if you're viewed as an everyday material guy, that's in their mind, and we're talking about anybody, not necessarily Max, but anybody. A lot of times, not maybe your first year, long range plans. Okay, we got long range plans. We think this guy is going to be our right fielder of the future, but maybe that first year, you're still just playing part-time.
Like Josh Bell last year. Kind of worked his way in and then became the starter this year. A lot of wind today. Easier play for the outfielder. Jay sends down Moroff. Yeah, it's a very breezy tropical feel to it.
Yeah, we've got a line of thunderstorms coming across eastern Ohio right about now.
Well, you've been talking to Rock during the break.
Thunderstorm warnings. No, I have a smartphone just like everybody else.
Oh, okay. I was always wondering how Rock knew the weather so much.
So it's coming, but it's out there far enough to where I don't think it's going to affect our game today.
Rizzo will take it himself, retiring Frazier. So 2 up and 2 down in the Pirates' 8th inning. A reminder to you to vote today, vote tomorrow, and keep voting for the Pirates in the 2017 All-Stars with the Esurance MLB All-Star Game ballot. Vote at pirates.com/vote, and then catch all the excitement of the 88th Major League Baseball All-Star Game, presented by MasterCard, July 11th, live on Fox. Please put on your rally caps. Pirates need it. They have mustered just 3 hits today. Maybe with a little luck.
Just now we've said this at least once before, but say it again. I look at that scoreboard and I see just 1 run on 3 hits, the solo home run, and just totally unexpected type of ball game for me this afternoon.
John Lackey, 1 run over 6 innings. He's in line for his first win in more than a month. Three groundouts today for Jay Hay. Well, if the score holds, the Pirates will finish this homestand at 5-5. What an opportunity, no matter what happens today, as Tony Watson starts to get ready for the 9th inning. Now that you got first place Milwaukee at their place for 4 games, and then the Cardinals. So
got to play better. Yeah. You have to play well in these division games.
Oh, undoubtedly.
You and I, it's been a theme about getting into the division, back in the division. It's been a while since we played any, and because the division as a whole is poor this year, great opportunity. And first 3 games, the opportunity is starting to slip by.
9th inning coming up. Still 6-1 Chicago. And the Cubs so far prevailing 6-1 as we enter the 9th. And thanks for sending some of those tweets in. #BucksBooth. Let's see, 97 miles an hour pitcher would have about, like you said, about 0.4 of a second to react to a hit straight up the middle. Look at all the math there, and then the pitch took that much time to get to the plate, that much time to return. Wow.
Whatever the numbers are, it gets there quick.
This is what we were talking about. How much time Carl Edwards had to deflect that ball.
Well, I can remember back
half a second, roughly.
30 years ago or so, that somebody, we were having this discussion, and somebody came up with 0.4 on a good fastball going to the plate. So
yeah,
I know that was a very good fastball coming back, and it's only, what do we figure, 54 feet or so?
Something like that, yeah.
So
well, thanks for everybody trying on that,
yeah,
and
very
giving us
good.
some numbers. Familiar time for Tony Watson, but not a familiar score.
Some more numbers.
Watson, who has pitched in a couple of situations where it was a one-sided affair, has done well since being removed from trying to save the ball games. And the one time that he was brought in a tight spot, and boy, talk about a tight spot, 9th inning in a tie game with the bases loaded and nobody out. He allowed all those runners to score plus 2 more. So still trying to get him back where he's been for several years now. And Clint Hurdle saying today that at least right now the bullpen pecking order, Daniel Hudson is ahead of Watson in terms of being used for tight situations.
Yeah, that game early was odd in the way it panned out, because Watson had been moved out of his original situation to be in a more relaxed atmosphere when he goes out there, where every pitch doesn't have the game hanging on it. And then he finds himself bases loaded, nobody out. I mean, it's the toughest situation as you can imagine for a reliever to come into, but it just was odd the way it worked out that night.
That was the next best guy available after Nicasio citing fatigue in that outing. There's Ray Searage, Pirates pitching coach, but allowed 4 men to reach. One was an intentional walk without retiring a batter. Rizzo chokes up with 2 strikes. He's got 3 hits today. But yeah, that's you know, the Pirates right now having a little bit of a down spell with the bullpen, which has been pretty darn reliable for most of the year. Watson as a closer was reliable until the last 3 weeks or so of his tenure. He failed to convert the final 4 save opportunities, and a couple of which when he was a strike away from being out. That one Freese will get. Well, Freese has had a couple of hot shots just out of his reach today. I bet you that feels satisfying. He's finally able to snare one.
Almost lost his glasses, or did lose the glasses, didn't he? Came off the hat.
Good look on our Allegheny Health Network Super Mole. A little bit of cloud cover right now, so took him off. Happ in his hometown. And a home run for the kid from Mount Lebanon.
That one got out of here pretty easy. That wind is kind of helping anything hit from center field to left. And there wasn't a lot of doubt that this one was out of here.
And that's a big moment for Ian Happ in his first weekend playing at this ballpark after coming here so many times as a fan.
Yeah, he got most of that one. Down and in. It dropped the head of the bat down there right on the baseball.
A lot of family and friends here for Ian Happ, a rookie who was called up for the by the Cubs in May, and Coach Pat McCloskey, Blue Devils coach here, I know at least at some point over the weekend. But not even drafted out of high school, really turned it on when he went to the University of Cincinnati and became a first-round pick. And now with 2 outs, Wilson Contreras, who drove in the first 3 Cubs runs on those 2 doubles. Pirates had played from behind after the 3rd batter of the ball game today, and a 3-hit effort for Contreras.
The Cubs bats, they've enjoyed their stay here in Pittsburgh. The first game they didn't do a whole lot until that 9th inning where they just really exploded. 13 hits today.
A little celebratory remark. A young catcher who debuted last year on Father's Day. And now Schwarber, who at one time was a young catcher himself. Now a young left fielder. He registered a double his last time around. Came in for Jason Hayward. Left the ball game. Did Hayward today, suffering an abrasion on that left hand and wrist, sliding to try to make a play down the right field line. Brian Dunsing, the lone lefty for the Cubs, getting up.
Schwarber. Really slow start as far as batting average this year. One of the several things that has the Cubs kind of scratching their heads this year.
Well, you look at this series, and if the Cubs do win today, they'll be back up to 500. And you think, wow, with all the talent and being the reigning champs and pretty much the same roster, why such a drop off? They're 14 games lower than they were at this time last year. But
well, they've had
you look at a Schwarber, you wouldn't expect him hitting 170 something.
They have a number of guys that you look up and down their roster.
Addison Russell hitting 220 coming in.
You'll see some numbers that aren't good, both in the hitting and the pitching. And, you know, they have that. You look up and down the roster, there's a lot of name recognition there, obviously, from what they've done the last couple of years, especially last year. So no reason for them to panic, but they have to be concerned.
Ian Happ with a home run, and the Cubs lead 7-1. Music from the Clarks coming to Stage AE on Saturday. Here on this Sunday, 7-1 Chicago. They've been up since the third batter of the ball game and are poised to take the series unless the Pirates can come through with a late turnaround, perhaps like the Cubs did the other night.
Dunsing's numbers, they'll be one of the biggest turnarounds ever in PNC Park history. They got to put up 7 runs to win this.
Well, it all starts with a base runner.
I think this game, turned in the bottom of the second. At first 2 hit, first and second, nobody out.
And they didn't move.
And they didn't move. And I think that was the opportunity that was there for us to get something done. Really, you know, answer that run that they scored in the first inning, or maybe even take the lead ourselves.
The Pirates have not batted with a runner in scoring position since the third inning. Mercer hit a home run, but
yeah, but I mean that was that was the inning where the game really started to become Cubs.
Yeah, the Cubs scoring early. Are you going to answer?
Yeah,
there was no answer.
And when you start with first and second, nobody out. I mean, I don't know
Against a
what
pitcher.
what's that guy? The
Bill Nye, the science guy?
No,
I don't know.
Guy that does the run predictions.
Oh, Tom Tango.
Tom Tango, yeah. What would he say about first and second, nobody out?
Yeah, a lot, good amount of runs. Good chance to score. Run expectancy. Baez. There you go, the Pirates down to their last out. Down a half dozen here in the ninth. And following today's game, the Pirates heading to Miller Park to take on the NL Central leading Brewers. And the Pirates sending Garrett Cole to the mound, coming off a strong start against the Rockies. Brewers countering with Matt Garza, and our coverage beginning at 7 with Pirates pregame presented by WB Mason. Here's Garrett Cole. He'll be ready for the action tomorrow. Might be closed up at Miller Park for most of the week. Looks like showers, thunderstorms in Milwaukee. Retractable roof. And Chris Stewart activated again today. Jacob Stallings optioned, so Stewart on the roster. Pirates carrying 3 catchers at the moment, something that Clint Hurdle says will likely end soon. Don't see a lot of teams carry 3 catchers these days, but good to see Stewart back and healthy. Francisco Cervelli getting the start off today as Elias Diaz was the starting backstop. I think Bell's been in 3-3-0 counts today.
Yeah, him hitting right-handed is going to be another thing that I think we talk a lot about as we get along in his career. And to really be that big impact player, the splits have to be close to the same, I think, with those switch hitters.
And the Cubs end up taking the series today. Ian Happ out of Mount Lebanon with a home run in the 9th. And the Cubs take 2 out of the 3 games, winning this afternoon 7-1.
That's disappointing. You know, we put a lot of emphasis on taking this rubber match game from the Cubs, and thought we really had the pitching matchup in our favor today, but it didn't play out the way we thought it was going to. And Tyone got scored on early on, and we were trying to play catch up all day. And boy, Lackey just wouldn't allow that. Pirates only 3 hits all day long. Of course, one of those is a solo home run. At least broke up the shutout.
Well, a chance though next at the first place Brewers 4-game series coming up from Milwaukee tomorrow night. But first, we'll talk about this one. Let's send it out here at the ballpark with Dan and Teague.
All right, gentlemen, of course, the Pirates were looking for their 2nd series victory of the week, but as Bob Walk just alluded to, a limited offense this afternoon does not allow them to do that, so they finished